Hi, everybody. This is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator, and I have the pleasure and privilege of getting to talk with one of my longtime collaborators, Kris Michaels, who is a best-selling author of the Kings of Guardian series.
Mhm.
And this series now, I think we are well into the teens of the volumes that we have gotten to work on together. Kris not only has written a very impressive volume of material, a body of work, but also does great stewardship with her fans. And they have thrown some questions to some to Kris,
Mhm.
some to me, and some that apply to both of us. And that's also given me some questions in terms of the author process and the narrator process. So welcome, Kris.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm gonna learn something from this, and that's a lot of fun too. I'm gonna get some great insights into the author's world, and I get to also take a look behind the curtain. We'll get to take a look behind each other's curtains, or so.
Absolutely.
Let's yeah, that sounds like a line
Mental.
from
Let's go. Mental curtains.
Mental Curtains, exactly.
Mental curtains. Yes.
Okay, well, let's start with let's see. One that applies to, I think, both of us is the preparation process. We've got one question from a fan saying, do you have a pre-plan for each story, or do you just wing it? And I'm happy to answer in terms of like how I prep a book as a narrator. Kris, what they say there are pantsers and there are planners.
Pantsers and plotters, right?
Pantsers and plotters. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, plotters. I'm a plantser now. In the beginning of my career, when I first started, I was a pantser. I never thought of an outline. I just sat down and I typed the story. Um, and it's the way I grew up writing. So that's what I have done. But recently I have found a way to outline that makes it a lot easier for me to be creative while still having a structure of the story in front of me. And it also helps me to write faster. So anything that's going to help me write faster, get the books out to the readers faster is golden as far as I'm concerned.
Mm,
But if you would have asked me this 2 months ago, I would have said pantser all the way. I cannot outline. But a good friend of mine, Marianne Jordan, showed me how she outlined, and it clicked. It just automatically clicked. I have 4 books outlined now and ready to go. I'm just typing as fast as I can.
oh, that's
So
fantastic.
it's you start with a couple, you know that they're here, you want them to go here, and then you have to figure out what torture you're going to put them through through the book. So but it's true, you have to make sure that there is an emotional development between the characters, and in order to do that you have to put them through situations. Now, not necessarily torture, but you have to put them through the situations so they can grow together.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what
I
about you?
Yeah, well, let's see. Likewise, it's funny that we're talking about this. I likewise started as a pantser. Basically, what I would do is do a very, very light skim through a book. We're talking about like maybe a couple of years ago. And I do a very light skim through the book, and then I just allow myself to be surprised by things as they came up. What I find is that I like to have a very good sense of ease and relaxation when I'm narrating. And it's difficult to do that if I'm laying down the train tracks as the train is moving, as it
Hmm.
were. So what I've found, there are two techniques that I use, and which one I'm using depends on where my schedule is at. If I've got a lot of books stacked up on top of each other, I might do one. If I've got some time to sink into a particular book while I'm also managing fan work, and I'm also doing other things, admin work, like you've told me. Um, I will do another. So The two techniques is one. There is a method that I have of just breaking a scene down, almost like in a theater script, because that's my background,
Mhm.
theater. And okay, so the scene takes place where? Who are the main characters that are in the scene? And what is essentially part one? What is part two? And if it's a long chapter, what is part three? And
Mhm.
that's very much like what you have in terms of what are the characters going through and what's the arc
They are
of
absolutely.
what's happening. So that's one technique that I have as I prepare a manuscript. The other is to simply read the thing out loud, just to give it a very rough, rushed reading, and then listen back as I take care of other things throughout the day. Both of those work just fine, and so that's one thing that I do. But you and I also have a preparation process, and I'll segue to this one of characters,
We do.
and making sure each character is distinct, is fun, is clear.
Yes.
Um, so, what is when you are originating characters? Do you find what one thing that I've always enjoyed about your writing is that each character has one to two very clear motifs, so that you know it's that character. For
Yeah.
example, Dixon and Drake are always squabbling over verbiage.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, Ember Harris has a temper.
Yes, she
Um,
does.
Joseph is the scary one,
Hmm.
even though he's got a soft underbelly that when it comes to his family. Um,
Jules, the nerd,
Jewel is the nerd who eats junk food all the time.
all the time.
And we've got we've got just so many let's see, is it Jade is the one who is absolutely bonkers. um
Yeah, she does not have a filter, period.
Jason has I had so much fun working with Jason with you because Jason has an injury to his
He
throat.
does. Hmm.
And so you said that before the injury he sounds like Christian Bale, and after the injury he sounds like Christian Bale as Batman.
Yes.
And I've had so much fun doing the voice of of that. Um, anyway, when you are coming up with the characters, um, what is your process of finding their trait so that it can be tracked throughout each book, and remembering for yourself the traits that they have?
Well, see, that was a lesson I learned from my first editor, Patricia Knight. I sent her book one, and then I sent her book two, and then I sent her no book one and book two, and she goes, "Honey, you need to take this back. You need to take book two back because your characters sound exactly like each other."
Hmm.
And she goes, "Jacob sounds exactly like Joseph. Amber sounds exactly like Tori. You're repetitive." She says, "You don't have a character for Joseph or Amber. So you need to figure out what's going on with Joseph and Amber." And I took that to heart. So when I make a character now, I make them individuals.
Hmm.
Instead of just saying, I'm going to throw this guy up on the screen, I make sure that I know who this guy is as an individual. The book that I just wrote, Smoke, and I know I'm not going to do any spoilers.
Okay.
He is wisecracking, but he's hiding something, and you
Mm.
know that. And Jewel is a uber computer nerd who does not understand people. She
Hmm.
understands computers, but she has no concept how people really work. And
Hmm.
Zane is her guide through life, because they're perfect for each other.
Hmm.
So I have their problems, their idiosyncrasies, their disadvantages, and then I try to make the significant other be able to plug into that portion and help complete that person.
Mm.
So that's the way I work. I definitely do with each main character, and even my side characters, just characters that I know are going to have a novel later on. I give them identities, and it's I actually see them. I see them pushing their glasses up their nose, or in Jason's part, you know, going like this. It's like, no, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. But, you know, so they're very real to me, and I deal with them because I deal in this world all the time. So I deal with them, and they're real characteristics to me for my characters, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I'm not insane. I'm
No,
really not
no, I
insane.
mean, but that, I mean, that's the thing for me too. Uh, in terms of keeping the characters in my head, and I literally mean in my head. Um, there are times when I will go for my daily exercise walk or something like that, and people, if I pass by people, and I try to keep away from people when I'm doing my walk and my talk, because my talk is often reviewing the characters,
Hmm.
and people hear me
Hmm.
do, if they see me, they will see a big tall guy walking along and do mumbling different voices to different rock song lyrics, and the song lyrics are just handy text, you know, for me to
Right.
throw up and do a character's voice to. But they might hear me. I usually, when I'm reviewing your characters, I will do the couples, so I'll do Joseph and then Ember. So you know, I'll be, sometimes I'll even swap the couples in with the same song. So we'll take a like Wild Horses from the Rolling Stones, and it'll be like, childhood living was easy to do. Things you wanted, I bought them for you. And then graceless lady, you know who I am. You know, I can't let you slide through my hands. And you know, that's like,
Hmm.
that'll be me as I'm walking along. Um, and it is a schizophrenic type of presentation, but it makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
It makes sense to me too. Yeah, and people will go, "What are you working on?" I'm going, words, because it's so much that, I mean, there's so much in my mind that I'm drawing onto the paper, that they go, "Well, what did you do?" And I'm going, I work with words." You know, it's impossible sometimes to explain how many things you have to pull through your brain to put onto the paper to make a realistic character in a realistic setting. And it's, you know, it makes me kind of crazy at times, but I am not insane. I've been tested.
Okay, good.